What's up, humans, and welcome to a new Psicoactivo. Today's episode is going to be mostly about a rumor that has been going around in the circles. It's a rumor that is already kind of public because of some people that are associated with this case, but there are some details that I managed to identify through some digging and some clues left by the people involved. I'm not sure this is the way that it's going to go. I'm not sure this is the person that is going to cover this case specifically, but it sure looks like it. So bear with me a little bit. Before that, I want to talk to you guys about two different little nuggets of something that's going on right now. You know that James Fox was recently on Rogan, and he spoke about President Joe Biden not even being willing to talk about UAP or UFOs personally. He uses John Kirby to do so.
Something or things have been flying around our skies for years, and experts say they aren't from this planet. As President Biden gets ready to leave office, Joe Rogan wants him to release all the classified UFO docs.
Can you imagine Biden? He's been so dismissive of it all. Obama said a lot more about it.
Why? Because he's already in space. He's in space right now.
Biden, if you're listening right now, you have nothing to lose.
You're the president of the United States, sir. Release the hounds.
While America waits for the government's UFO secrets that may never come, local and federal authorities are scrambling to uncover the secret behind the drones flying above New Jersey. It's been nearly a month since the sightings began, and we're still in the dark. Americans just want to know what the heck is flying above us. Are we okay? Major worries by concerned citizens have the drones have been dismissed by the feds from the start, but new technology could make identifying them happen much faster. But it turns out that the FAA lacks the resources to get things going. Since the feds have failed to assure Americans that they're safe, local officials, businesses, private citizens, they're itching to take them out of the sky themselves.
Mr. James Fox just released a statement where it goes something like this. He says, "Please, POTUS, make an honest statement about UAP before leaving office. You have nothing to lose and all the respect to gain. This issue transcends party lines and merits your serious attention." If you guys remember, back in February 2023, the only time we've seen Joe Biden addressing UFOs was right after the shootdowns in the US. And he said this.
When I came into office, I instructed our intelligence community to take a broad look at the phenomenon of unidentified aerial objects. We know that a range of entities, including countries, companies, and research organizations, operate objects at altitudes for purposes that are not nefarious, including legitimate scientific research. I want to be clear. We don't have any evidence that there has been a sudden increase in the number of objects in the sky. We're now just seeing more of them, partially because the steps we've taken to increase our radars, to narrow our radars. And we have to keep adapting our approach to dealing with these challenges. That's why I've directed my team to come back to me with sharper rules for how we will deal with these unidentified objects moving forward, distinguishing between those that are likely to pose safety and security risks that necessitate action and those that do not. But make no mistake, if any object presents a threat to the safety and security of the American people, I will take it down. I'll be sharing with Congress these classified policy parameters when they're completed, and they'll remain classified so we don't give our roadmap to our enemies to try to evade our defenses. Going forward, these parameters will guide what actions we'll take while responding to unmanned and unidentified aerial objects. We're going to keep adapting them as the challenges evolve, if it evolves. In addition, I've directed my national security advisor to lead a government-wide effort to make sure we are positioned to deal safely and effectively with the objects in our airspace.
I don't know what to think of this. What do you guys think? Do you think it would be a good idea from President Joe Biden to talk about this, or do you think he will stay quiet? I say he stays quiet. I don't think he's going to be coming out saying anything before he leaves office, mainly because he doesn't really seem to have control over it. You guys know that historically, presidents, very few have been briefed about the UFO topic. And it is believed that the ones that are briefed have been like a handful throughout history. So I don't even know if he's been briefed about it. Okay. So just let me know, what do you guys think? Do you think President Joe Biden should come forward and just lay it on us? Maybe he can, maybe he can't. I don't know. I'm very skeptical about it, but let me know. Another topic that I want to cover before the main topic today is Daniel Sheehan. He was recently at Want to Know podcast is called. He talks about the possibility of the UAPDA still passing this year. We've said multiple times that it's pretty much impossible for it to pass. But
any updates for this coming year?
Yes. I just had a long conversation yesterday with one of the United States senators who called, and I recommended that he go and meet with Senator Tom Cotton from Arkansas, who is now going to be the new head of the Senate Intelligence Committee, to get them to reintroduce Senate Bill 2226 that was passed by the United States Senate in 2023, setting out this 64-page bill to set up this entire set of protocols pursuant to which there could be a controlled disclosure process that was going to reveal all of the information that exists. We know perfectly well that the same elements that are inside the national security state, deeply buried inside the national security state, the so-called legacy group, that's been lying and concealing this information for the past 80 years at least, they're going to manipulate that and try to continue to contain the information. The great experiment we have here in this country is that those who set up the Constitution stated that it was for the purposes of empowering the regular people. So we have that on the table to work with. We have faith that there is a phenomenon, a force that is operational in the universe that is in support of that happening. We believe that in the coinage of the normal realm is this is a natural law that is functioning in the universe. And the Constitution of the United States is set up ostensibly to bring into fulfillment the natural law.
Danny wrote a tweet yesterday, and he said this. He said, I had a long conversation with a United States senator who called, and I recommended that he go visit with Senator Tom Cotton, who is now going to be the new head of Senate Intelligence Committee, to get them to reintroduce Senate Bill 2226 that was passed by the United States Senate in 2023, setting out the 64-page bill to set up an entire set of protocols for a controlled disclosure process that would reveal all of the information on UFOs, UAP that exists. So basically, Danny wants to reintroduce the same bill that was introduced last year in November and failed. Just as is. There's only one problem with that, Mr. Sheehan. This eminent domain clause and the committee, those are the ones that didn't allow for the bill to pass in the first place. So what has changed now that is pushing you through this road again? I think that there need to be modifications in that 64-page bill in those specific aspects before you reintroduce it, because there's clearly people that don't want to give up their intellectual property, you could say, because they think it is theirs. Because even though if they did reverse engineer this technology, they still created something from their own, you know? And I think that they feel like they have the right to that, not the alleged NHI technology itself, but to the derived technology that they got from it. So what has changed? I just ask you that because I'm genuinely curious, and it would be nice getting some information from you if you have something new to share. Now we move on to the main case today, and I'm going to be extremely careful with this one because I've stayed away from it for good reason. I made it a case for my channel to not approach the most toxic cases in UFOs. There are a number of those. And I think that the Michael Herrera story is one of those, because the claims are very, very, very outlandish, very concerning if they are true. Essentially, Herrera claims that during one of the trips to East Asia, he encountered a UFO that was carrying people with psi abilities. So essentially, he was accusing some black government agency of human trafficking with UFOs included. So that's about as outlandish as it gets and as unbelievable as it gets. So there's multiple people that have been trying to cover this story from different angles. They all got interesting information. A lot of it's conflicting information. So I don't really know how to tackle this. I don't know where I stand in it, to be honest with you. So, but what I do know is that there is a rumor going around right now that claims one of the people who is allegedly part of the crash retrieval program took Mr. Michael Herrera to a black site. And this person is allegedly coming forward as a whistleblower. That is just a rumor. So please keep that in mind. I don't know what will happen. I don't even know if it's true. I do know some facts, though. Over the past few months, I've seen two of the most renowned people within the UFO topic, who are journalists, trying to cover the Michael Herrera story. Those two people are George Knapp, who covered it on his Netflix show, Investigation Alien, and the other person, according to some clues that I found, may or may not be Ross Coulthart. So during an Ask Me Anything session about 8 months ago, Ross responded to a question from one of the people about the Michael Herrera story. And Ross said this. So here's the question. Is there some truth in the testimony of Michael Herrera about human trafficking? Who is interested in this crime? The NHIs? Thank you for your amazing job. And Ross responded, I'm investigating aspects of the Michael Herrera story. I've spoken to Michael and other sources. I cannot make any further comment at this time. Watch this space. Do you guys remember the last time Ross said that in a very ominous way? And I made a connection that I still think could be real. But according to this new information and another Reddit post that claims that this whistleblower is coming forward, I think that this is the story that Ross might be covering over the next couple of weeks. Remember this from Ross?
Okay, moving on. Next question. At DAARK, at Dark982, question for Mr. Coulthart. What is your take on why the NHI do not just reveal themselves? Do you agree with the idea that there is an agreement for delayed or complete non-disclosure? Because if true, I would find that to be somewhat confusing behaviour on behalf of the NHI. I also think that if they were waiting for us to be ready, that maybe we wouldn't be seeing them in our skies, or maybe at all. Thanks for the work you do and hoping to hear your thoughts. Okay, Mr. Dark. I think there's a really interesting explanation that I'm beginning to hypothesize. This is only a speculative hypothesis on my part, but it is based on work that I am doing that is increasingly focusing on what I believe is a consciousness connection to the UAP phenomenon. I do think that there is a link between what we call psychic phenomena, telepathy, or psionics, as is the more neutral term that's used by the military and the defense community. I do believe that there is a connection between human psionic abilities, telepathic, psychic abilities, and consciousness, and that the UAP phenomenon is tied into that. And I suspect this is one of the largest reasons for why this is being kept secret and for why the NHI are not overtly showing themselves. And my growing hypothesis, it's just a hypothesis because there's a few things I can't tell you right now that I'm going to be reporting on in coming weeks, and I'm very excited to be bringing you that story. But I do know that the Air Force has been working on psionics for many, many decades. They never stopped investigating the power of the human mind and consciousness ever since the Stargate program and the remote viewing program. I know it's been poo-pooed. I know there's a George Clooney movie based on John Ronson's book called The Men Who Stare at Goats. And I know all the supposed debunkers say it's BS. But I can tell you, it's not BS. I've seen it for myself, and it's real. And in forthcoming weeks, you will see why I say it's real. And I believe the United States Air Force has knowingly deceived Congress, successive presidents, and the American public and the world about what it knows for far too long. It's time for this story to be told. Now, coming back to the question from Mr. D'Arc, I think the NHI are showing themselves in our skies to twig our consciousness, to make us humans aware of capabilities that many of us don't even realize we have. And I've seen those capabilities demonstrated in recent months. I know they're real, and I frankly don't give a flying fig what the debunkers or the skeptics or the trolls would say about that. It's real, and they will soon be eating humble pie. The capacity for the human mind to engage externally with some kind of uber consciousness has been speculated about in science. Go and have a look at the work on microtubules. Let's have a look at what modern science is speculating about a quantum connection between the human brain and an external consciousness. That's where we're going in this. So what if UAPs are merely a manifestation of something that is above and around us, a consciousness? Some might call it God. Yeah, I know, this is heavy stuff. But what if the purpose of its engagement with the human race is to slowly twig our awareness and to encourage us to use abilities that we don't even know we have? I'm very interested in hearing from people who were part of the GATE program 20 to 30 years ago, who found themselves in rooms with US Air Force officers and strange psychologists in white lab coats, showing them on occasion strange, apparently non-human objects. Yes, this has been happening. Young kids, prepubertal kids, have been misused in experimentation by our military in experiments designed to develop an understanding of how to engage with the phenomenon, with a consciousness. And I think at the same time that NHI consciousness is trying to engage with humanity individually. I've spoken to so many people. I had a message this morning from one person who's an very senior US Air Force person working in a very sensitive area, who told me that they had psychical abilities and they'd never spoken about it. But when they told me about their sighting of a gigantic craft, I said to them, by any chance, do you have psychic abilities? Have you ever had an intuition or a precognition? And they said they were very moved by my question because they'd never really spoken about it. But yes, they have. And everybody I talk to tells me about intuition, precognition, some kind of second sight, some kind of insight that gives them an ability to understand or engage with things in a way that humans can't quite understand. And I think that's what lies behind our understanding, or our growing understanding of the phenomenon. I think that if these are craft, if they are craft at all, they are a manifestation of a consciousness that is trying to engage with humanity. And I think, interestingly enough, the evidence that I am acquiring suggests that these craft can only be operated by people with those psionic abilities. Watch this.
Yeah, so the claim is that these people that are being trafficked are allegedly skillful in psi abilities. And I don't know what the details of the story are going to be. I don't even know if Ross is going to cover it. I just heard rumors about it. And there are multiple rumors all the time about this stuff. I've covered one of them that about this object that is allegedly coming towards us, that I still think is a rumor. I don't think it's true. But I do want to know what is making people talk about this in the behind the scenes. The other rumor that I've heard is about this one is that the whistleblower is not related to Herrera at all. So one rumor is that a whistleblower tied to the Michael Herrera story is coming forward. There's another different rumor that I don't know if it's the same as this one, that a whistleblower has some kind of footage recorded that is coming forward, but is skipping the DOPSR process. If that is true, which I don't know if it is, it's a rumor. If that is true, that means that this new alleged whistleblower is not doing the same thing that David Grush or Lou Elizondo are doing, that they have to go through the DOPSR process in order to say stuff with permission, which always rubs people the wrong way. It has rubbed me the wrong way sometimes. I gotta confess that. So if this new whistleblower is coming forward with actual evidence and without going through the DOPSR process, that means that this is something that people should pay attention to, I think. But still, I repeat, these are just rumors that people behind closed doors are hearing and within the community. So I don't know what's going on. It would be nice if people asked Ross Coulthart about this, because I got this clue and I don't know what to think of it, because this Herrera story has been so toxic for so many years. He's been tied to Dr. Stephen Greer. You guys know how a lot of the people in the community feel about Dr. Stephen Greer. And I just don't know what to think of it. When I saw George Knapp and now potentially Ross Coulthart covering this, it's making me think twice about this story completely, because I do admire both of those guys and I trust them, but they are like taking a huge risk if they cover this story to its completion. So I am eager to know what is going to happen over the next couple of weeks. I'm eager to know if that video from Ross talking about psi abilities is related to this Herrera story. If it is, things are way darker than I initially imagined. And it's not going to look pretty for a lot of people that are involved in this, if it's true, because we still don't know. But I want to hear your thoughts. What do you guys think about this? Do you think they're separate stories? Whistleblowers coming forward. One of them is related to the Michael Herrera case, and the other one is not. It's an entirely separate case. What do you guys think? Do you think it's just rumors and nothing will happen, as it usually does? Because that is true. Although we've had a lot of activity over the last 7 years, we are lacking in actual physical evidence. There's a lot of testimony about a lot of this stuff from credible people. Granted, yes, that's true. But we still need some palpable evidence. So if some of these alleged whistleblowers have something, I am eager to know what it is and to see it and judge it for myself. And if it comes out, you can be damn sure that I will share it with you guys. So let me know what you think in the comments. What's going to happen over the next couple of weeks? Do you think it's going to be more smoke, or do you think there's actual fire there? Let's see. We're going to have to wait a little bit more, but not so much anymore. So let me know. And if you like the content you see, like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon. If you want to support the channel in any other way, there's a bunch of links in the description. Take your pick. I want to give a special shout out to Mr. Tommy Gibson. who has been supporting the channel through super chats for a while now. So I think you deserve a big hug from me. Happy New Year, man. Thank you for your support. Please, if you can, look for my email on the channel's description. I have something for you. So let me know when you find it and send me an email so I can share something with you. Okay. I want to share it with you because of all the support you've been giving me throughout the year. Thank you. Always. Thank you. And I'll see you guys on the next video. That's all for me, folks. Bye.